What's up everyone, Tommy with Studio Sense here. Thanks for stopping by to check out yet another release that came out in the last few months that I'm just now getting my hands on. This one I have to say, in fact I have to say about a lot of the new fragrances that have come out lately, I really am happy about the lineup. So many of them have come from brands that I've been curious about, or from a particular pillar fragrance or flanker that I was looking forward to coming out, and this was definitely one of them. It is by Thierry Mugler, and it is Angel for Men Fantasm. So don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to give you my first impressions. We're going to talk about what makes it smell like it does, and if it's any better or worse than its predecessor, Angel for Men, the original 1996 fragrance. Gosh, it's hard to believe that it was that long ago, but you're not going to have to wait long for my first impressions because that's coming up right after this. Hey guys, just a quick something. I know the video is terrible because I was actually taking a thumbnail photo, but I started thinking about what happened earlier today and I had to share it with you. Probably among a short list of things that would be absolutely terrifying to find on a hiking trail in the woods would be something along the lines of this. Yes, that's right, a used surgical glove. Definitely not something you want to see while you're hiking the Appalachian Trail, or really a trail anywhere. My wife and I saw that, and I took a picture of it because I thought, you know what, as many true crime podcasts as I've listened to, this could be evidence one day. Anywho, I thought I would share that with you. Back to our regular programming. You guys are here with me today for me to share my first impressions of Angel for Men Fantasm. Now, on the official Mugler website, 50 ml was all they had at the time of my purchase, but you can get it in a 100 ml bottle for, I think, 90 bucks. I think it's like 60 for the 50 and 90 for the 100 ml, which is actually pretty good. That's this size here. Now this is the original Angel for Men, and I gotta say, I'm gonna waste a spray here. OMG. Man, it's really hard to get better than the original. It really smells so good. In fact, this reminds me of why I used to wear this all the time. And guys, I used to get a lot of compliments on this fragrance. And I think the last compliment I got on it was only like a year or so ago. It's still very much compliment pulling and still very much relevant in the world of men's new fragrance even. So it stood the test of time, but what about the flanker Fantasm with an F? Does it look the same? Does it smell the same? Well, let's take a quick look first at its presentation. The Mugler box is black on the front. In silver writing, it says A*men. Below that, Fantasm, and then Mugler. Below that, it is Eau de Parfum Sensuelle, which is a new addition to the concentration spectrum. The box I have is 50 ml or 1.6 fluid ounces. The sides of the box have nothing. The top of the box is blank. The back of the box has some very tiny writing about the Mugler circle that I'm not going to attempt to read. I'll let you do that. And the ingredients listing, an address information, a UPC, and a very small QR code. The bottom of the box has some additional stickers about recycling and a batch code of A as in apple, B as in boy, Y as in yo-yo, 2-1, E as in echo, the number 7. Similar to all of the Angel for Men fragrances, the 50 ml flagon is covered in rubber. Inside the rubber is glass, and on the front, the Mugler star, instead of being transparent so that you can see the juice, it is silver. Other than that, the bottle looks identical to the original Angel for Men. On the bottom of the bottle, stamped into the rubber coating, is the concentration, the size, and additional information. So that's pretty much it. Even though this bottle is smaller, it is identical to the 100 ml bottle of Fantasm, and this is the original Angel for Men. So we know in terms of looks, there's nothing new. Even though it's been many, many years since the original was released, you'd think they'd have some kind of special, different look. But there's something to be said, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? For that maxim. And I guess they stuck to that for the presentation. So now that we know that it looks the same, there's nothing special about the presentation, although I really do like that bottle, and I'm hoping they've fixed the issue with the atomizer being a bit too stiff in the OG, and in this one, they've loosened it a bit. What about the fragrance itself? What is the formula? What are the notes that make up Angel for Men Fantasm? Angel for Men Fantasm's classification is that of an ambery gourmand fragrance featuring top notes of citrus, pink pepper, and bergamot, with heart notes of dark chocolate and clary sage, resting on a base of patchouli essence. So those are the published notes we have to focus on, which is a bit of a reduction from the original. I don't even have the original formula memorized. There's so many notes in it, I am curious. The original had in the top lavender, bergamot, coriander, and peppermint.
In the heart, it had caramel, patchouli, cedarwood,
honey, lily of the valley, and jasmine. And in the base, coffee, tonka bean, amber, benzoin, musk, vanilla, sandalwood, and styrax.
Holy mother of the kitchen sink. There's lots of stuff in this one. To recommend it, what I love about the original is the dark heart. Mugler was really good about making heavy, dense, men's gourmand fragrance. There aren't a ton of them out there that are as accessible as a designer brand like Mugler. This is one of very few designer fragrances at the time in 1996 that made gourmand accessible, acceptable, and sexy. And it has actually informed a lot of releases since. But what about this new version of Fantasm? Oh, and by the way, it is an eau de parfum concentration, but again, we've got a new addition to the spectrum of concentration, eau de parfum sensuelle. And you've got to say it just like that. You got to drop to a lower register and say it in baritone. You got to shake your head like George Clooney too. Now, the atomizer pump is built into, you might see what I did here to the original. This recommendation is not for those of you that still collect action figures and have them completely sealed in the original packaging. I'm recommending that you cut out the portion of the rubber into the atomizer. It makes it a lot easier to spray. I'm gonna waste the spray and show you there. Super easy to spray, whereas mine was really hard before, and you would waste juice because you couldn't push down fast enough to really give it a good pump, and it would just kind of seep out like an old man peeing onto the front of your aperture. See? It's not that bad. It's like an HQP, higher quality problem, to have an atomizer that's coated in rubber so that you have to push a bit harder down on it. So it's not really bad. If it really bothers you, you can take I would recommend an X-Acto and just cut around the outer edges of it to where it flips off, cut that off, and then you're good to go. I'm gonna spray the Fantasm Sensuelle on my right hand, and I'm gonna spray Angel Ferment on my left. It's really hard to be subjective about a fragrance that you've gotten so many compliments over and that you've worn many, many years. I get that. A lot of people are going to look at Fantasm and judge it not based on its merits, but based on its comparison to the original. Even though coffee isn't listed as a note, it is very coffee-esque. It still retains the richness of what you like to have and expect in a gourmand fragrance for men. It seems to be coming off my skin in a lot stronger than Fantasm even. But I do like Fantasm. Like I said in my overview of what's happening in men's fragrance about Fantasm, this is an amplification of certain facets of the original. So what they're doing is they're taking that dark heart of the original, that kind of chocolatey, powdery, cocoa absolute heart, with the addition of the coffee. So coffee and chocolate, very, very similar in terms of their resinous, kind of olfactive, tactile nature, and they're beefing it up in this because that's what you get a bit more of. And it's right out the gate, you get that kind of a dusty chocolate coffee-esque quality about this. This is the new BDSM fragrance, Bergamot Dark Chocolate Sensuelle Patchouli. Okay, I tried to make that work. It doesn't work. This video is going to be relatively shorter than any other first impression video that I've done because all the information that I could talk about in terms of when to wear it, what it's appropriate for, just apply what you already know about this fragrance. And for those of you that don't know about Angel for Men, the original, I recommend that you go out right now and purchase yourself a bottle. Thankfully, it's one of those that's still in production and still available because it is the pillar fragrance. I'm not saying that I don't like it. I do like it. I'm very happy to have it, and I'm very happy to add it in a relatively small group or a small lineup, reservoir of gourmand fragrances that I love to use in colder weather. This is a cold weather fragrance or nighttime fragrance. When the sun's gone down behind the hills and the temperature's dropped 20 degrees or less, you know, wherever you are, wear it as a nighttime fragrance. Definitely a date night fragrance. It's written into the new concentration Eau de Parfum Sensuelle. It is a sensual or kind of a sexy, modern smelling gourmand fragrance. And who doesn't love chocolate? Women love chocolate. They love smelling chocolate. And imagine smelling chocolate on your beau or your bae or your whatever. People are definitely going to love to smell this on you, and I am positive that it will pull compliments just as much as this maybe, but the scent bubble that this creates is going to be much wider than this. So you're gonna have to be in more close proximity to the person who's going to hopefully give you a compliment when they smell this on you. They're gonna have to be a bit closer because it does sit a bit closer to the skin than does the original. So if your expectation were a Mugler Beast or Mugler Banger, some kind of chocolate patchouli bomb, that's not what this is. It is a quality fragrance. It is something I would recommend getting. So this is a nice addition. I'm really happy that the focal point of this was sort of the coffee chocolate patchouli, because that's the most outstanding trifecta in this. Now, the pink pepper just kind of adds to the buoyancy, the effectiveness of the fragrance in the open to the mid, but that's pretty much gone after that. The citrus is there to be eye-opening, part of that great opening, and helps it smell relevant and modern. And it's just a nice introduction for any gourmand fragrance. But again, it pretty much goes away early on. So what you're left with are the trifecta, the focal point of that kind of chocolate, cocoa absolute, and that rich patchouli, and so that's where this fragrance lives. If you don't like either of those notes, stay away from this fragrance. If you're happy with the original and you don't want something even similar to it, you don't need to purchase this. I, for one, am happy to have it because it is a nice addition. It is a different kind of vibe than the original, even as it is similar to it. To have an additional modern smelling gourmand fragrance, it is definitely worth the purchase. And it's not expensive. Again, $90 for the 100 ml, 60 or so for the 50 ml from the official Mugler site. If it is at discounters right now, even less. Check out the links below and that will inform you. Well guys, that's pretty much it. There's nothing more to say about this fragrance. If you don't have the original, you gotta try this one first. If you like this, then you will definitely like the Eau de Parfum Sensuelle. But let me know what you guys think. If you've had any experience with this fragrance, you love it, you hate it, let everyone know in the comments below. Thanks again, guys, for stopping by. As always, thank you for your continued support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.